In this case, our big idea is that we want to create a single equation to represent a word problem with two steps or more. Oftentimes, what happens is where we'll create a these initial word problems, people will show each individual step and not put it together in one equation. And we really want to be focusing on what is that single equation and then utilize that in order to create our steps to solve. So I'll show you what that means. So here there were three groups of five yellow tiles. There were six red tiles and three blue tiles. How many total tiles were there? My first big step is that I have to figure out what in the world is it trying to have me do. So here I can tell in here that it's asking me for total tiles, which I know means that I'm either going to be adding or multiplying. Maybe I even have to do a little bit of both. In this case, I see in the beginning, so I know that there's some yellow, and if I think of it this way, it's yellow plus blue plus red, or plus red plus blue. Really, in any order is just fine. Is going to equal my total, right? It's helpful for me to see that because that's going to allow me to put it all together. I know that I'm going to have to do two times. I'm going to have to go about doing some addition. Here in the beginning part with my yellow, I've got three groups of five yellow tiles. So groups gives me this idea that I'm going to need to multiply. I'm going to need to do some multiplying. This here would be 3 times 5 for my yellow. Now, normally what ends up happening is that we'll end up with students who want to decide to solve right then and there. We want to create an individual equation first, okay? If you're already in your head trying to solve it and you've got 15 there, that's fine, but it's again, that's what's going to be, you'll see that in the steps as we go about trying to work and solve through. I have over here, it's got this idea of six red tiles. So I know this, I got plus six, and now I've got three blue tiles plus three. All right, so here in this case, at the very end, that's going to then equal x. So I've got this equation, and I'll write it a little bit clearer here. 3 times 5. Maybe I should do this here in yellow. Go back for a second to get us this in yellow. We'll go 3 times 5. We'll highlight that in yellow just because they're yellow tiles. They're going to be added together with three blue tiles. And I'm going to be adding to that six red tiles. And all together in the very end, that's going to equal x, my total. Okay, that's the total number of tiles. So as you can see here, I've got one full equation and it's got two operations. You got to do three different steps. In this case, I got to multiply initially, then I got to add to it, and I have to add to it again. So what you might decide to do here is you're going to start over here with the 3 times 5. Your steps would be 3 times 5 equals 15. And then you got 15, and I can either add to it 3 or 6. In this case, I'm going to add 3 to it, and that's going to get me to 18. And then I could add at the end, I got 18 plus 6, and that here, as I add those up, gets me to 24 tiles. So in this case, x equals 24. Okay. You can make sure you have your steps because the steps will help you as you show your work. But really, we're focusing on this part right here. This part here is the part that we're looking for, where everything is represented together as just one equation, where x is the thing that we're looking for in the very end. Okay. So as you're going today, think about how you're going to be adding or subtracting, how maybe you need to multiply. What information do you see, right? I forgot to highlight my three blue tiles here. And think about what it's trying to ask you to look for in your question. Okay. Good luck today as you're working on your two-step word problems.